What's up, everybody? This is the Modeling Secrets Podcast, your source to learn from experienced and established models literally all around the world. I'm your host, Christopher Pollard, the photographer and creator of Studio 713. And today we're going to interview Jasmine Raiford, a model out of Atlanta from New York / South Carolina. She's been signed to agencies. She's been working with major brands and companies. She's really just been doing her thing, and she's going to give us the insight of really what does it take to create a successful modeling career, the mindset, setting your own rates, networking, working with professional photographers, building your portfolio, everything. So let's just go ahead and get started. Welcome to the show, Jasmine Raiford. All right, Jasmine, welcome to the show. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. And I know you're like 3 hours away from now, all the way in Atlanta. And we've been trying to get it coordinated, but I'm excited to have you on the show today. So, for those that don't know you, our first time seeing you online, just explain a little bit of who you are, how you started, and what your career is like.
Okay. Well, hey everyone. My name is Jasmine Raiford. I reside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Woo woo. A little bit about my modeling. I started in 2012 doing runway. I did have a mentor at that time who guided me with posing classes, runway classes, and she was mainly well known up north. So I did a lot of shows for Lord and Taylor. I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but that is the mother of Macy's. So we did a
Nice.
lot of stuff at King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia. We did stuff in New York. Then we kind of matriculated on down to South Carolina, being that she wanted to get a name for herself because she is a former Ford model. So that was a pleasure to work with someone like that with that type of guidance and stature to their name. So over the course of the years, I wanted to jump into print, and that was in 2014. Let's just say I did not know what I was doing at first. Like it was insane. Like I was just taking photos just because. But of course, over time, when I came from South Carolina to Atlanta, I seen the transition of stylists and creative directors. So with the help of those type of people, I was able to build a strong portfolio. And then I had an idea of what to shoot as a model.
Yeah.
So now I'm here in Atlanta, full-time model. It's a blessing, and we get things rolling.
Yeah. So let's unpack that a little bit because
Okay.
I believe a lot of models, they're in the same field, right? They're just figuring
Right.
it out as they go along, and you've actually had the opportunity of getting coached, which you saw help increase your success and your portfolio building. What was that like? How did you find a coach, and what did you really gain from that experience?
Um, Funny story. The coach found me in college. I had a friend, and the coach was hiring recruiters around schools and college to people who she felt like could find a real model or potential models.
Mm.
So a friend of mine came up to me and was like, "Hey, I have this lady. She's looking for models. She's building her name out here. I think you'd be a good fit." Me being me, I'm just like, I kind of let that go because I'm in this whole graduating, like I'm focusing on job. But at the end of the day, this is something I want to do as a kid. The only reason why it was put on a back burner was because, finances. This takes a lot to finance to get your name and get things going as a model. So since I had this presented, I went to the casting call at that time. I didn't know that's what it was, but that's what it was, a casting call. Did a runway for her, a little walk, and I got selected for her to work with me one on one, which is a pleasure again because I needed the guidance. I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing at first. So with her help, I really think it kind of gave me a light of which way to go. I knew I didn't want to be seen in a certain light because it's so easy to happen. We could put on anything and work with anybody. So with
Mhm.
her guidance of a fashion model, this is what a beauty model and a commercial, which is my forte, that really opened my eyes to everything. So thank God for that recruiter in college.
Nice. Yeah. So that really helps, like, really separate what type of niche you should be in and what direction you want to go in with your career. Because I believe a lot of models, they think about modeling, they instantly think runway, high fashion.
Right.
But I know you dealt with that a little bit, but you're now considering yourself a commercial model. And what made that final decision, and what makes you keep going in that direction?
Well, when I first came to Atlanta, I went to the agency, and one question I really think that stuck out to me is what kind of model do you want to be? And in my portfolio, at that time, I'm just like, I want to be a commercial. I want to be a maybe a fashion beauty model. Like that's me. That's what I want to be. She said, show that in your portfolio. Over the course of that time, I realized my strong suit and my strong point was commercial. So that's kind of like what helped me transition into that. But also, I felt like my age is starting to play a part of that because I will be turning 32 this year. Woohoo, 32.
Ooh,
So I'm trying to stay in the course of also my lane of age. Like I know commercials gonna pay. We all know that more than fashion. That
right.
was also brought to my attention with my agent in my agency when we had meetings. I was like, well, let's go down that road, That's the road I want to be
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. Yeah. I encourage a lot of models to go in the commercial realm of things, especially if they're looking to get hired and get paid. Because, like you said earlier, like finances is was one of the things that was holding you back from modeling in the first place. And now I know that you're staying pretty busy. Every time I look at your story, you're working with different brands, different companies, and shooting all the time. So, what's the current day-to-day lifestyle really like now?
Oh man, the day-to-day lifestyle comes and goes. Like yesterday, I got a phone call from I want to say Mulatto and Jada's hairstylist
Wow, nice.
reached out to me, phone call, and I left a voicemail because I missed it. And they said they would use me as a hair model for their class at the end of the month. So that's my life. Last minute phone calls, last minute job opportunities, but also going to castings, submitting myself, polishing myself. That's the key to always keep myself on my toes, looking at everyone to see, okay, posing is always going to be something I have to perfect. Keep that perfection. Let's say castings, I'm doing commercials. I'm starting to really get into the roles of how to speak and do real casting roles as a commercial model. So that's the day-to-day life. Also, let's just say traveling is going to be in the midst of everything. So I'm financially and slowly preparing for the travel moves I'm going to make this year.
How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance with all the travel and shooting that you're doing regularly?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked that. I learned over the course of 4 or 5 years structure. You have to have structure. It's so easy since I'm doing my own time and I work around my own time and schedule. I need that structure. I have to teach myself when to go to bed, not staying up all night, because as a model, I have to keep myself fresh, skin glowing, So having that course of structure in my life is what helps out a lot. One thing I definitely do is a nice skin routine because without that, I don't know where I would be. I need it.
Yeah, I just shared one of your photos on my story recently. It looked like you did like a wedding beauty shoot, and yeah, I could tell like the skin is really clear and is important. I'm actually hosting a workshop uh,
Mhm.
next month, especially on just speaking on skin and the importance of how from a makeup artist perspective and from a photographer's perspective, how having and maintaining good skin is important for a model.
It's very important. Honestly, I didn't even know the importance of that until I really going into depth with the model camp classes, the boot camp classes. Your skin, hair, and teeth is always the main top three things you need to keep as a model, a high fashion model, commercial model. Like it's needed because you never know when they just want to not throw makeup on you or when they want to do minimum.
Mm.
So that's highly important.
What do you think separates the amateur from the professional models? Like, what skill sets are missing that they really need to improve on in order to get the type of work that you're getting?
Okay. Ooh, I went through that myself. I had to learn to transition. Um, when I first came out here, or even when I first started working as a model, I wanted to work with everybody and anybody. I
Mm.
did not look at their page of who they was working with and how they were portraying those people. That's something that I always did. I jumped on a first job, whether it was a paid job or not paid job, and finding out I was working with models who was getting paid and I'm not getting a dime.
Wow.
So I grew from the amateur to like, okay, I'm not going to just jump and say yes to anybody anymore. I'm going to take the time to see, is this for me? Is this the type of work I want to be a part of? Is this the type of name I want my name attached to? So I definitely pay attention to that. I try to get more details. What's provided? That's something I never asked. Is hair and makeup provided? I was always dibbling and dabbling in my money to provide that regardless, finding out they had a whole set. So
Yeah.
it's just like, it's real amateur moves when you don't ask the right questions. When you just like, oh, I'm just doing this, like, because I want to show I'm busy. I had to stop doing that. If I'm not busy, it's okay. And also, I don't post everything on my page. Like, if it's not quality, I look at quality over quantity. It has to be the right quality. That definitely matters because I got my page audited a couple of times by models or creative directors, and they said my page was amateur, and I had to look because of the quality of photos and who I was working with.
Right.
So that was a transition. I'm so happy I learned because Jasmine is not going to work with anybody anymore.
Yeah,
Not just
definitely.
anybody.
Definitely, having good quality images is
Yeah.
especially important for models. And but in the beginning, like you, the question comes up is I can't afford to hire all these, quality photographers. So I'm
Right.
working with the ones that are working with me because we're building together. So what are the key skill sets that you look for in a model, a photographer, a makeup artist, or whomever you're going to be working with to make sure that they meet the quality standard that you're looking for?
Um, for one, I go to their page. I would say work. Who are they working with? Are they working with just anybody? Like I have to keep stressing that because it's so important in this industry. It's so important. But let's just say, like, don't just shoot for a reason. Like, shoot with a purpose. That's how I look for it. How I do it, like now, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna do mock-up shoots. Let me shoot a mock-up shoot for coach. Is this purposeful for the team? Like, that's how
Yeah.
I look for it, quality-wise makeup. I don't want a whole bunch of makeup on my face now because of the type of, let's say, lane and the type of industry I'm trying to go, which is New York, Miami, LA. It's clean and natural as possible. So I look for that in the makeup artist. Photographer, I look at the models that they working with. Is it just booty everywhere? Like, is it just video vixen vibes? If it is, that's not for me. So I look for that in a for the photographer. For a model, even if I want to work a collab shoot with a model, I get asked that a lot. First, let me
Yeah.
see if this model doing something. Is it gonna replicate the work that we're trying to do together, or is this a model trying to transition from vixen into fashion, which happens a lot because they see that it's starting to, this is the lane that modeling is going. Like it's more than just being an influencer. So I kind of look at that. And if it's going to be like that, I'd rather work with someone that's really on the level as me being a model. Let's get to New York. Let's get mock-up shoots, brand shoots idea going so we can land as a model for the brand. So that's what I try to do.
Definitely. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
That was really
Yeah.
insightful. What are some of the biggest challenges that you experienced as a model, and how did you overcome them?
When I first came out to Atlanta, it was a transition on my portfolio, realizing it was gonna be a lot of money I had to invest. But of course, you have to prepare yourself for that time. And what I did was, photographer said, okay, we could do two looks for this price. So what can I do to add another two looks? How much would that be? So maybe sometimes I book a photographer every other month and I try to get 4 to 5 looks to keep the content going. So that's something that kind of helped me to transition with keeping content going. Then when I had that, that's when a good photographer started coming. Like, wow, we like this work. The investments help. I made sure I got good makeup artists, but also the pay. I did a job for some celebrity for a swim line, and I found out the models were being paid and I wasn't. So I had to learn how to transition and prep myself for the next person. Like, what can I say or how can I establish this before I get to set? Let me ask the questions. Hey, is this a paid job opportunity? If so, how much and how many hours was provided? So I just slowly start asking the right stuff before I did anything.
Was there some times where you felt particularly critiqued or rejected from applying from a job or going to a casting call? And if so, how did that make you feel? And what did you do to just keep going through the process?
Ooh, constructive criticism. That's me. I love it. And that's what helped me get to where I'm at. No, seriously. When I first went to my modeling agency that I am signed with now, they told me no. And they
Mm.
told me why. But I got to my car. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a couple of tears, but it kind of boosts me. Criticism boosts me because we need that to get better. That's how I feel, honestly and truly. Like that's what helped me to get to the standpoint as a model that I am now is criticism. Not everybody could take it. I'm not gonna lie, but I
Yeah.
always it puts a fire underneath my butt. It
Yeah.
makes me want to do better, makes me want to get to like, no, you said no this time, but I guarantee you, you're going to say yes next time. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. I just feed it, I take it in. I'm human. I may cry, I may want to, punch a couple of walls, but I get it going. I make things happen. So that's just me how I take criticism.
Yeah, definitely. Like taking criticism is one of the things that comes with this territory, no matter what. Even as a photographer, I remember posting inside a few Facebook groups and just showing some like work I was excited about. And the feedback that I would receive from other photographers is ruthless.
I
Not
only
gonna-
imagine.
yeah,
But I
it's
bet that makes you want to like prove them, not even prove them, like show them, okay, well, it may not be to your liking, but I guarantee you someone's gonna like it. If not you, somebody else.
right. So then that goes back into the whole quality phase of this, right? So you're building on yourself, you're taking the criticism and you're making the improvements so that you can have that established portfolio, work with the agencies, get signed
Right.
and have all these brand deals. So, I mean, this it all comes together, right? Full circle.
It does. And even the rejections, like lately, I've been going to a lot of castings for Good American, Natural Models LA. And I wouldn't say I got rejected, even though when you don't get contact, it is kind of like, not now. But it makes me want to figure out, okay, what are they looking for? Like rejection sometimes put me down. It definitely did recently. But this year I came into it with a new light of figuring that stuff out so it won't happen again. And I'm gonna figure it out. So it's gonna happen. It's part of the hustle, it's part of the industry. Like if this is something you have to prepare for when you're doing it.
Uh, what advice would you give models who are looking to start implementing rates or maybe even increase their rates? Like, what do you bring to the table as a model when you are charging for your time?
Oh, yes. So happy you asked that. When I first started, I did a flat rate fee. And I just did that because I just started, wanted something in my pocket, but I wasn't that strong of a model and to posing. So, in order to increase my prices and to make things more than what I want, I invest into the posing classes, the runway classes, even did boot camps, model boot camps, because that's what's going to help me raise the bar. But I did the Coco Rocha camp. A lot of models who love Coco Rocha. She's amazing. It's definitely worth the penny. But that's when I knew, okay, I could go hourly. You ask me to hit any pose behind that camera, I'm gonna do it. Or matter of fact, you don't even have to tell me. I'm just gonna give it to you. So yes, you're gonna pay my hourly prices now. I also see if hair and makeup provided. One thing, if hair and makeup is not provided, that's gonna have to come out. I'm gonna have to go up on my prices because I don't know how to do hair and I don't know how to do makeup. So I am gonna have to pay someone to do my hair and makeup. I'm gonna try to get, the best of the best prices, but
Yeah.
that's gonna be a price. So that's also something that I ask. I ask a question, is it provided? If not, then hey, this is gonna add to the price. So making yourself a stronger suit model is what's gonna help you raise the price. And if you feel like, okay, I just started, what to start with, what do you feel like? What can you do for that client that's trying to pay you? How much do you think is fair? Like, how many hours are you going to be on set? You need to always ask, how long am I going to be there? That plays a part. Your time matters, people. They matter. So, if it's a couple of hours, for example, I started off with doing $80. Then I went up to like maybe a flat rate of 100 and then 125. And now I feel like I could do runway, I could do a videography, you could do anything. Like I'm gonna do it. So yes, I want my hourly rate. So hopefully that helps with the transition and with starting prices because everybody want to get paid for they talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
answering that. Getting paid as a model is definitely probably one of the biggest questions I receive is finding the opportunities and then knowing, is it even worth my time to show up for it? And coming from your mindset perspective of bringing to the table, like I have enough experience, I've been trained, I'm coming prepared, my hair and makeup is done. Now you're actually having something to bring to the table and show up as a professional model rather than saying, hey, just take my photos because I'm attractive.
Right, exactly. And that's what I seen a lot in Atlanta. People want to model because they was told they were pretty their whole life and it didn't work out. I'm like, ooh, you could tell. But yes, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. So one more question before I ask you my last is
Mhm.
what keeps you motivated? Like what's the big picture goal that you're looking to achieve?
Oh man, what keeps me motivated? I'm not gonna lie. I recently, because I have my master's in health service, and when I was working and I came out here to not working, to maybe a small transition back into my field, I was like, ooh, do I really want this? Because modeling is on my brain 10 times more now that I'm kind of, maybe going back into corporate a little bit. It's just like, no, my dream is modeling. I want it more and more every day. The whole goal is to maybe use my degree and invest into businesses and start my own healthcare facility as a model, but keep going. I want to live my dream. I want to live, traveling, a small, soft life, like nothing even extravagant. Like, I just want to make it. I want people to know who Jasmine Raiford is. Like, that's the goal. And I didn't realize how much I wanted it until the older I get.
Awesome. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love the mindset. I love the energy. Every time we talk, it's like I feel like you're always in a great mood. And
Oh, everybody says that. I'm a Leo.
Leo again. See, I'm a Cancer, so I just feed off of other people's energy, and honestly, it helps me actually get into a better mood sometimes too. So keep doing
Good.
what you're doing, keep shining. And so, for my last and final question, if you had to just boil it all down to one thing, what would you say the secret to creating a successful modeling career is?
Consistency. Consistency. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I go back and forth with it, like because I feel like I should be in the further spot than what I am, being that I went so hard and I'm doing so well in modeling. But I keep telling myself the more I keep going, and as long as I keep going, someone is gonna see it. I am gonna get noticed. Someone is gonna make you a big person who you are. Like consistency, never stop, don't stop. Even if you have to take a little break, take a break. But don't forget, don't take a long break. Don't forget the bigger picture. Consistency.
Consistency. That's the word.
Yes.
Honestly, I've been working on that myself, especially doing YouTube like this.
Yes.
It's its own challenge. And
It's
I
a
feel like
full-time job by itself.
yeah, everything's gonna have its challenge, everything's gonna have its setbacks and some struggles in there, but being able to focus on the goal and continuously moving forward, making incremental progress, eventually you'll get there, right?
Right, right. No,
Mhm.
seriously. Every time I look back, I'm like, whoa, I did that last year and I'm doing this year. Like it's insane. Whoa, my prices was this last year. Now it's this year. Like, heck yeah, consistency.
So everyone where they can find you on social media and give you a follow.
Yes, everyone follow me on Instagram at jasmine.raiford. That's JASMINE.RAIFORD. See y'all then.
Thank you again for being here. I can't wait to
Yeah.
go down to Atlanta. I know you're coming down to LA soon, so hopefully
Oh
we get a chance
man.
to work together soon, and I look forward to it.
Okay, same here. And thank you so much. It was honestly a pleasure. I'm rooting for you and thank you for this opportunity.